Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt Murli of 13th of June, 1973, and the title is Spiritual Warriors. Do you consider yourselves to be the maharathis of the spiritual army? Who are called the maharathis of an army? What are their qualifications? To be a maharathi means to consider oneself to be one who is riding one's chariot, rathi. The main thing is, do you use your chariot while experiencing yourself to be the charioteer? If on a battlefield, a maharathi comes under the influence of his chariot, then can that maharathi be victorious? Or instead of being one who brings victory to his army, would he become an obstacle? He would be instrumental in creating upheaval. So all of you warriors of the spiritual army, have you become charioteers of your chariots? Just as a warrior puts all people and all comforts to one side and only keeps the battle and victory in his intellect, he keeps himself engaged in fulfilling his aim. In the same way, ask yourself, do you have the aim of just these two things, or is there also something else in your awareness? Have you become such warriors? No matter where you may be, always have the awareness that you are warriors on the battlefield. Warriors never like to rest. Warriors are never lazy or careless. They are never without their weapons. They always carry those with them. They are never afraid of anything. They are always fearless. Warriors never keep anything except the battle in their intellects. They always have the attitude of battling and the consciousness of gaining victory. So are you also victorious with one another in the same way? Do you see one another with this vision? Similarly, a spiritual warrior would always maintain this vision. We are all Mahavirs and victorious. At every second and at every step, we are on the battlefield. Do you just have the one deep concern of becoming victorious? Have you detached your intellects from all relationships and all the facilities provided by matter? Have you stepped aside from all of that? So while being on the battlefield, are the strings of your intellects still engaged with the relationships and facilities of matter? Do you consider yourselves to be completely free? Or are you still dependent on others for some things? To be completely free means to take the support of your body when you wish and to go beyond the consciousness of the body when you wish, so that the body does not pull you to itself even in the slightest. So be free from the awareness of the body, that is, from your old nature. You should not be in bondage to even your nature. You have to be free from even your sanskars. Be free from your lokik connections and also from the bondages of the connections of the alokik family. Have you become free to this extent? Such souls are called completely free. Have you reached this stage, or does even a small physical sense organ tie you in its bondage? If a little insect were to cause distress to a maharathi or a lion, then what would you call such maharathi or a lion? Would you call it a lion? If one wasteful thought were to distress a master almighty authority, or if one very old sanskar of the 84 births causes distress to one who is a master almighty authority, a Mahavir, a destroyer of obstacles, one who is Trikaldarshi and a spinner of the discus of self-realization, if it makes him weak in his effort, then what would you call such a master almighty authority soul? When you are in this stage, are you not amazed at yourself? To let such words emerge that you have wasteful thoughts or that the old sanskars and nature bring you under their influence, or that you do not experience Baba's remembrance, or that you do not have any attainment from the Father, or you become afraid of even a little obstacle, or you do not have constant supersensuous joy, you do not experience happiness, then are these the words of someone who is a decoration of the Brahmin clan? What type of Brahmins would you call such Brahmins? Brahmins in name only. If you are called true Brahmins and you say these things, then what is the difference between the Brahmins of the confluence age and the Brahmins who are this in the name only? At the present time, souls who are to become Brahmins should examine themselves. Have I put the first qualification of being a Brahmin into my life? What is the first qualification of being a Brahmin? To break away from everyone else and to connect yourself to the One. If you are still attached to your physical sense organs, then is that the first qualification of a Brahmin? Since the first promise, that is, the first words of the dying alive birth are these: one Father and none other. Since this is the first promise, the first qualification, then have you fulfilled this qualification, the first promise and the first words? Or is it that while saying that you belong to one, you still have connections with many others? Would such Brahmins only in name be called victorious? Within such a huge world, Brahmins have their own little world, and so while carrying out every task in such a small world, such Brahmins, whatever souls of the world they look at, only have the feelings of benevolence for each of them. They do not have any relationships or attachment on the basis of their own feelings, but only with the feelings of godly service. Even while looking at the five elements in nature, they would not be under their influence, but they would instead be engaged in the task of making even nature Sato Pradhan. Can those who themselves are the transformers of nature become influenced by nature? Those who cannot bring nature under their control at this time will not be able to experience the happiness of the Sato Pradhan nature. So you do not come under the influence of nature, do you? That would be like a doctor who goes to save an ill patient, but who becomes infected himself. Your task is to transform nature, but if instead of that you are influenced by nature, would you be called a Brahmin? All of you have become Brahmins, have you not? Would any of you say that you are not a Brahmin? To be a Brahmin means to imbibe such qualifications. So do you have such qualifications, or are you just a Brahmin in name? Ask yourself this question. What is the specialty of the Brahmin birth? A specialty which does not exist in any other birth. The specialty of the Brahmin birth is that, whereas in all other births, souls take births through souls, it is only in this Brahmin birth that you take birth directly to the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. Your deity birth too is through elevated souls, not through the Supreme Soul. So this is the specialty of the Brahmin birth, which does not exist in any other birth. This is a birth filled with such specialty. So what should be the specialty of such souls? The virtues of the fathers should be the virtues of the Brahmins. You cannot have those virtues in any birth other than this Brahmin birth. Just as in this Brahmin life, you become Trikaldarshi, Trinetri, an embodiment of knowledge, do you become this in any other birth? So if you do not experience the virtues and specialties of Brahmin life in this Brahmin life, then when will you experience them? You become a Brahmin, but do not experience the specialties of Brahmin life, then what have you done by becoming a Brahmin? You tell other souls, having become a child of the Father, if you do not know the Father, then you are worth a shell. You tell others this, do you not? However, some take a birth as valuable as a diamond and yet are not able to make their life as valuable as diamond. What would you say to someone who has a diamond in his hand but considers it to be a stone and does not realize its value? Is that one who is greatly sensible? You cannot say anything else. You do not become so greatly sensible in the wrong way, do you? Therefore, realize the value of the Brahmin birth. It is not an ordinary aspect. That's it. Let me also become a Brahmin. Constantly check yourself as to whether you are truly living a Brahmin life. Acha, to such elevated souls who have a constantly elevated birth, who perform elevated actions, who have an elevated life, and who do elevated service, to such world benefactor souls, to the souls who are completely free from all bondages, love, remembrance, and namaste from Bapdada. Om Shanti.